Zoro is the swordsman of the Straw Hats and the very first character to join Luffy on his journey to become the Pirate King. Zoro is one of the most important One Piece characters. He can be considered to be the person closest to Luffy in the crew, and he is certainly among the fan favorites as well. Zoro is a three-sword style swordsman who aims to become the strongest in the entire world, and much of his character arc revolves around keeping a promise to a friend, growing stronger, and of course most importantly making Luffy the Pirate King. Zoro is an incredible character in many ways, and his character holds many mysteries as well. One of the biggest mysteries that surrounds the character of Zoro is his left eye, which he lost at some point during the time skip. Surprisingly, fans do not know much about it. However, there are many ideas surrounding this mystery among the fans. Without wasting any more time, please subscribe to my channel and turn on all post notifications so you don't miss any uploads. Now let's begin. Zoro endured quite a lot of hardship after the events of the Thriller Bark arc. It was in this arc that Zoro's resolve as well as his loyalty was tested to the limit, and even though he passed with flying colors, the price that he paid was immense. Zoro was injured tremendously to the point where he couldn't even fight properly. And for him, even surviving was a big deal, and all of this was only compounded when Zoro was separated from his group by Bartholomew Kuma. He was sent to Karigan Island, where he had to fight against the Humandrils and eventually bow down before none other than Mihawk himself. While Luffy was risking his life in an attempt to save Ace, Zoro was helpless on this island, knowing that he could not help his captain. Zoro had no choice but to bow down before Mihawk for the sake of his captain in an attempt to get stronger so he could protect him better. Mihawk agreed to train Zoro, and the two decided to train the ways of Haki along with many other things that entail swordplay itself. By this point, Zoro's eye was completely intact. However, the first time fans saw him return after the time skip, Zoro's left eye was missing. This was somewhat of a surprise to the fans, and they certainly did not know what gave him this scar. What's even crazier is the fact that no Straw Hat or any other character who knew Zoro has even touched upon the fact that Zoro has lost his eye. It's almost as if these characters are pretending to not see the big scar that has shut one of his eyes down. However, the reason for that is likely because Oda wants to keep this a surprise and not give away the secret before the right time comes. And by the way Oda has handled Zoro's eye and the secrets behind it, he has big plans for this particular plot point. In fact, Oda had once mentioned to Watsuki, his associate, that Zoro would end up losing his eye in the future. He mentioned this to him at some point between 1997 to 2000, which is around the time One Piece began serialization. Had Zoro losing his eye being something insignificant to the main plot, Oda would never have mentioned this to Watsuki, and at the same time, he wouldn't have thought of it so many years before it actually ended up happening. The fact that Oda had this drawn out as one of his major plans for his character only means that it holds a significant secret. When Watsuki saw Zoro with one of his eyes closed after the time skip and had the chance to speak with Oda, he was thoroughly impressed at what he was seeing. He quizzed Oda about the secrets behind the eye, however Oda chose to not divulge them. For Zoro to receive scars isn't uncouth, however this one is different, as no explanation has been provided for it and it has been planned for years upon years. One cannot say as to how Zoro ended up receiving this scar, however fans know enough to tell that it happened at some point during his training with Mihawk. Perhaps Mihawk was the one who inflicted this scar on him during their training. It is also possible that Zoro lost control of himself and this scar was inflicted on him to keep him in check. Thus, by keeping this eye closed, Zoro could potentially be keeping himself in line. This might seem too out there to the fans, however, it is a known fact that Zoro has often been compared to the demon itself in One Piece. Right from the very beginning, Zoro has been drawing comparisons to the demon, and while they were somewhat metaphorical in the beginning of the story, these comparisons only started becoming too real as the story went on. Zoro has manifested what can be compared to the demon spirit in the story on many occasions. He has been compared to a bloodlusted demon on many occasions, and he has even manifested bizarre spirits around him on some others. What's more, Zoro even manifests a spirit-like entity known as Azura, which appears to be an extension of his own willpower or soul on multiple occasions. There is no explanation as to how he manages to do it, however, this is directly tied to his demon self. Perhaps what happened to Zoro is linked to his inner demon, which is being kept in check using his left eye, fractally by the experience. The question of whether Zoro will open his eye or not cannot be answered by anyone other than Oda himself. However, what fans should believe is that Zoro will inevitably bring up his eye at some point in the story. When Oda brings it up during his fight against Mihawk, this plotline can go two ways. Zoro can either open his eyes and fans can receive a proper explanation as to what the demon dwelling inside him is and what the source of power such as the Azure is. The eye can be considered to be something that he had to give up permanently in order to discipline himself and gain even heightened control over his swordplay. Either way, the eye can be used as a plot device for Zoro to get stronger, push through adversity, and reach the throne of the strongest swordsman, something that he has been gunning for from the very beginning of the story. It is only natural that One Piece fans started theorizing about Zoro's eye, claiming it to be a potential power-up for him in the future. The question of whether Zoro's eye scar will end up being significant or not later down the line cannot be answered with certainty. The beauty of One Piece is that every single detail can be theorized about to a great degree thanks to the many clues that Oda often leaves in his story. Of course, Zoro's left eye is no different. As mentioned earlier, Oda choosing to keep it under wraps certainly does imply that there is some secret behind his eye injury. Another big possibility is that this eye scar is simply nothing. Zoro could very well have just received this injury while training with Mihawk, and Oda could very well choose to not attach further meaning to it, even though he has been secretive about how he received this injury in the first place. This wouldn't be the first time that Oda simply chose to not dive deeper into the character of Zoro. His backstory as well as his connections to Wano were mostly neglected in the Wano arc, and recently, they were revealed to the fans in an SBS corner instead. If Oda feels that information about his scar is irrelevant to his character progression throughout the story, then he will certainly not dive deeper into this aspect of his character design. Some fans believe that Zoro has been granted an eye like Mihawk's as a passing of the torch, similar to Shanks losing an arm for the New Age. Fans believe this eye has Hawkeye's Hawkeye observation abilities. It is a version of those eyes becoming Zoro's observation haki that he keeps hidden and will only use once he thinks it is necessary. There are various theories surrounding the mystery of Zoro's eye, and we will only be able to know if Oda decides to show us what we're missing. Roronoa Zoro is an integral part of the Straw Hats and is growing stronger as the series progresses. All of these theories are plausible, and there are a lot of mysteries shrouded in secret in the world of One Piece. I would like to believe that Zoro's new ability will stem from his left eye, and with the twists and turns One Piece has provided throughout the years, I can't wait to see what Oda has in store for us. The good news is that One Piece is in its final saga and all the major mysteries of the story are going to be revealed here one by one. This also means that Zoro will accomplish his dream of becoming the world's greatest swordsman here and will finally reach his peak in this saga as well. If there was a time for Oda to answer these questions, it is now, and for that reason, fans are incredibly excited for him to dive deeper into Roronoa Zoro and the many other mysteries that the One Piece world harbors. Well, tell me your thoughts in the comments, and please take the like button on a date, and please subscribe to my channel and turn on all post notifications so you don't miss any uploads.